How's everyone doing today? Let me just get everything set up here on my end, double check everything. I believe I have the chat set again, so only subscribers can talk. That is, of course, because of the bot issues that we've been having on this stream and every other YouTube stream that I've seen. So it's set, so you have to be subscribed for a minute in order to talk in the chat here. Hop over in game. So I've already picked up the Norway. I went through, leveled it up a little bit ago, and I made a mistake when I got rid of the ship. I had not went out and got the Elite Valkyrie fighter pets before I went and got the fleet version. Now, there's a bug currently that some of you may have encountered in that when you go out and you pick up the fleet version of the Norway or the Seneca, the Hiawatha, the fleet versions do not currently unlock the pets like the blog said that they were supposed to. This is an unintended effect. It is a bug that will be fixed in a future patch. The devs are already aware of it. So if you're trying to get these Valkyrie pets and you only have the fleet version of the ship, you're going to have to wait until they put that fix in before you can get the higher ranks of it. How are you all doing today? Before I get too far into things, let me go put an announcement out that I am now live on a few different Discords. Spider, how you doing? Documents, how you doing? And Cardium. Albert, you picked up the flight deck carrier with Calm Before the Storm. Yeah, that is a really great trait. So if you guys are ever looking for like what ship you should go out, what traits you should potentially look for, STO Better has an amazing tier list that I highly recommend you just keep on hand. They have a trait list or like a tier list for energy weapon builds, projectile, exotic. You know that they have the starship traits, the personal traits. It'll take a minute to load, but they also have like the best DOffs for energy, things like that. So if you're ever wondering about what DOffs, traits, whatever you should use on a build, STO Better has an amazing tier list. That link should hopefully work there. Yeah, so just go down to tier list on that page and you'll see this very nice tier list here. They've done a lot of good work with it. They have a lot of really good guides on their website also, so this is, if you're a new player, STO Better is probably the best resource out there to actually learn the game right now. It's a lot of written stuff, but the thing with written guides is they can be updated a lot easier than any videos. Spider, dreading the issues on Tuesday when us console players get the new content? Yes. So we've actually had a return of some issues now on PC also. The issue with bridge officers like SROs or Jemadar Vanguards giving more than they're supposed to has returned. Infiltrator is not correctly stacking and giving you a boost to cloak ambush. That's a known issue. Yeah, I know, Chell. Space Effects, how you doing? Mystic, Greeneck. Dwayne, are those Borg DOS from the Omega Rep store any good? I don't recall them being anything that spectacular. Imagine if they just like trolled us one day and put like a 27 in here. Yeah, these are just generic, like, these do the exact same as any of the other projectile weapon officers or security officers out there. Okay, so I want to pick up the elite version of these Valkyrie fighters. Now, spoiler, the Valkyrie fighters do not beat the Toduge, the rare Toduge pets, even under SAD. These perform comparable to, or quite close to what the Alliance fighters do. Stargate, how you doing? I need to briefly dry dock the Fleet Norway so that I can go and grab the Valdres again so that I can go get the pets. Invalid entity name. Gotta love that issue. Yeah, so the fleet ones do not currently unlock the pets, but that will be fixed. I might have to relog from this character before it lets me grab these pets. Up here they are. There's the Elite Valkyrie Fighter Squadron. I'm just going to grab 2 of them while I'm here, just because they look really immersive. And the other ones are there. That way, if I want to use these on like my Voth Rampart or something, I can do that. Yeah, the Texas class, those lower decks episodes were really good. Stargate, how you doing? Megla, oh no. I'm gonna delete this Norway so that I can pull the fleet one back out. That's it. Yeah, the Texas class, I'm gonna be curious to see how they bring that into Stowe. That'd be neat to have even as like a frigate pet on another bad carrier. I think that'd have some really good reception. So Stargate, it's the you have to have the C-store one in your ship roster when you buy the pets. So did I get rid of that ship or did I? Yeah, I deleted it. Okay. So now I just bought those Valkyrie pets, but if I go back up to ops here, now that I only have the fleet one in my roster, it's only going to show, or it shouldn't show the Valkyries in the list anymore. So yeah, the Valkyries just straight up do not exist on this list now. Okay, so just to make sure I'm typing them in right, Yeah. So if I don't have the C-store one on my ship roster, then I can't get the pets right now. So if you're having any issues at all with the pets not being there, just know that it's because it's a bug. Let me see here. Easier if I just did this. Waiting for a legendary Kali class to get released. Similar design. Dwayne, I saw Triz saying something about that last night, but I didn't look too far into that. Okay, I'm gonna put a cannon scatter volley build on my Norway. I know, what a surprise. But this specific character that I'm going to do this stuff on does not have a set of phaser cannons. So I'm going to use a mix of spiral waves, and I have a coalition disruptor that I'm going to use. For some unknown reason, I do not have a full set of spiral waves on this character. Broken Soul, how you doing, man? The Valkyries are OP, did about a quarter of DPS in ISC runs. Yes. Spiral supremacy for sure. Well, yeah, I haven't done enough testing with the Valkyries, but the first run I did where I just boosted them with SAD was like 20 something K. Back up. Nick, thank you, man. I just did another run with them actually, and the pets did, yeah, like 25K, but that was the normal one, so we'll see if the elites do any better. Pat Mason, cool if I can check stream. Wanted to say thanks for your content. Didn't know. Nice. I'm glad to help, and the Lexington's a really solid ship, so I'm glad that I was able to help you with that, because the Lexington is a very, very good energy weapon platform in the C-Store. That was done on the carrier. So, yeah, the carrier... That carrier's brutal. Lord Bane, it's going pretty good. I managed to not nick myself shaving this morning, so that's always a good sign, right? Yeah, Stargate, how much did you get total between the two bays with the and was that with the elite or advanced or normal Valkyries on? So I'm gonna build this as a CSV disruptor build. I should just grab another disruptor, like another spiral wave. So let me grab an ultimate upgrade and I'll just use some dill and grab one quick. Actually, I'm not going to grab another because I don't have a Cardassian ship here. Okay. I got the pets. I'm going to return to space now. Springfield? I'm not familiar with that class. Let me check that out. Steos. Sort of getting me, like, it's, at least the pictures on here. Cheyenne class. The picture they have on the memory beta is really blurry. It's hard to tell. Okay. I'm gonna go standard here. I'm gonna use the colony deflector, the competitive rep engines, you know, the same thing everyone does there. I'm going to use a Fleet Spire Warp Core, but if you want more survivability, you could do the Discovery 2-piece. Then I'm going to do the Discovery Shields. Wish they would buff carriers? Yes, absolutely. Okay. I'm going to run Disruptor Dual Heavy Cannons, because that's what this character has. I'll have to get a set of phasers on this character at some point, but Spiral Waves perform well, so... Here's my coalition at. And spiral wave turrets. Alan, how you doing? Thumbs up. You very much help. Thank you for mentioning that. I did go and do some testing also with the experimental weapon, but something that I saw when testing it last night is that, you know, this experimental weapon is supposed to go in and do an AoE around your target, but they have limited it. It's got a target cap of 4 targets, meaning that it'll hit your primary target and then 3 secondary targets. If it could hit as many targets as possible within that 2 kilometers, it'd be really good. But in my testing, this did perform quite well. I don't know how it stacks up, you know, to the Soliton or the Sheller quite yet, but I'm sure the STO better folks are gonna get a good test to compare those two. Elite, the pets were doing 110 of your 450k, and I assume you had like scramble fighters and all the really nice pet boost on, right? Let's do Lorca. So just a note here, my stats for crit chance and severity are higher than they're supposed to be right now. The bug with bridge officers giving more than they are supposed to has returned, and because I'm on a Romulan character, my Romulan bridge officers are giving more crit chance and severity than they are supposed to by a fairly significant margin. Martin, how's it going, man? Stuff there. Okay. So I'm doing a disruptor setup on this, but if you're trying to set up phasers, Polaron, whatever the hell you want, um, an important thing to note when it comes to like the different damage types is if you see a build for disruptors and you want to do a Polaron build, most of the consoles, most of the builds the exact same, regardless of the damage type. You know, all that's really going to change is, you know, what TAC consoles are you running? Like if you're running a disruptor setup, obviously you're going to run consoles that boost disruptor, but if you want to do Tetrion or whatever, you just swap over to um you know, the Tetrion or whatever, the Tetrion boosting consoles. Sad and Wing Commander only. Martin, you leaving the office and going home? Okay, for the consoles here, let's see. Immolating Phaser Lance. Even though this is a disruptor setup, that Immolating Phaser Lance is still really good for triggering universal design, so I'm going to keep that on. Get some haste on here. So I've got Domino on for some haste. I've also got the Temporal Trajectory Shifter. This is from the Narendra. What else is it? It comes from a few different ships, like the Ambassador and the Vorcha class. Both have the ship, the T6 ones. Terrible Megla. Just use the Tetrion. Megla there is a very big fanatic of Tetrion. He's notorious for going out and just mailing people Tetrion weapons, and you know, because they're the most OP thing out there, right? Right, Megla? Norik, how's it going? Let's see here. For the other consoles, I'll put Bozeman on just because that the passive on it's good and the potential for the shield shutdown is handy. Put ultimate on for the crit chance, and then for this last one, you know, the Jirok console is not the best thing out there, but the passives on it are really good. This gives a lot of crit chance, so that's 2.9% crit chance, but I'm gonna go with something else here. Just do a proton build to, you know, terrible Chell. I'll put DPRM on, just give me a survivability clicky. Wish Cryptic made shields worth a lick? Yeah. I wish that there's a console that the Romulans have that is exclusive to them. And it comes off the Valdor. Well, it's not exclusive to Romulans, but only Romulan ships can use it. It's off the Valdor Heavy Warbird, which I think you buy with the lithium now. But if you have the Legacy of Romulus C-Store pack, you would have it on account unlock. Or if you bought it back in the day. This has a console on it called the Shield Absorptive Frequency Generator, and it actually is a really good shield heal, but only Romulan ships can use it. Phasers are best. If I had phasers on this character, I'd use them, but I'm going to do Cannon Scatter Volley, and this character only has a phaser beam overload set up, which is terrible. Okay, now it's time to fix the bridge officers, so let's go with Artillery 3, CSV, Beta, Emo. Let's see here. I think I did a beam overload. No, beam overload. And actually, I'm going to do Chemo 2. Then here I'll do Distributed Targeting 1. Inspired Weapons 2. I love it when it bugs out the bridge officers here. I got to swap these two around, though. OSS2 on. Swap this to a tractor beam. Traits are messed up. I don't need ETM on. Don't need subspatial. This loaded all my torp traits, fortunately. So I'll put SAT on. Withering Barrage for the CSV. And then emergency weapon cycle. 2 surgical strikes. That, when I heard that on the stream, that was a little bit discouraging. Clearly it wants me to do a torp build. Yeah. So I'm thinking on the next like Theorycraft episode, I might do one about how I would build out. How would I build out like the legendary Mogai or the legendary Akira? Just do my take on it. And I was thinking of using sets, but my issue with sets, and this is an issue that I reported to the folks working on it. Let me see if I can pull it up here to show this on stream. Sets. So sets is a build planner we were working on. And if I run this, the issue is the scaling doesn't really scale up to 4K very well. Red, how's it going? Ed? Yeah, hopefully with the legendary Akira and Valdor, they make the consoles on those ships usable on any ship. Because the Akira, the T5 one, the Armitage, would be something that myself and others would highly recommend if the console could be used on other ships, because it's a really fun console. I'm remaining 31. What? Okay, let's cancel that. Run no update. And it just crashed. So sets is a program we were working on in the builds Discord. It's a really neat program, but you see the issue here if you have a higher resolution screen. Dan, happy Friday to you also. So I was thinking, I went through and pulled in the files to look at like some of the, or how I would go in here and insert a ship in here to be able to modify it myself. And I figured that out, but it's just the UI. I'd have to scale my monitor down to like 1080p for everything to be the right scale. Red, it's not confirmed, but it's something that they're looking at. They're either going to do an Akira or Valdor early next year. Okay, let me fix the rest of my traits here. I got a bit off track. I need to remove all of these torpedo traits. If you have issues, by the way, with your traits going behind your trait list here, I did find what this was, and I did report this to their QA, so they are aware of it. But you see, like, if I set my UI back to a scale of 1, which will be really small for the stream, but all of my traits appear like you would want them to. And if I go to, like, scale 2 here, you see the traits disappear behind that list. So, you see the power levels? Yes. Power levels, So, pro tip for any new players, you see your power settings over here, or like at the bottom part of your, there will be this little ship power level thing on your HUD. When you get into a new ship, the first thing you should do is hit the attack preset. That will boost up your weapon power, and your weapon power scales up the amount of damage your weapons do. So, very important that you get that scaled up to 100 weapon power right away. Yeah, Well, Chell, you've already seen, we've already had conversations in the Discord of what we want to see from it. I want to see it, I want the Valdor to be legendary, like a legendary VOD War Juggernaut almost. You know, Commander, America Worker, Lieutenant Commander, Intel. Because the Mogai as a platform is clearly an energy weapon focused platform. I mean, the 2-piece console set on it gives you minus weapon power cost and a bunch of drain resistance, so like it's built for that. Let's do independent wingmate and see if that helps at all. Yeah, this looks good. I'm going to take fleet coordinator off because I'm not going to be doing a ton of team content. And then rep traits. Let me take this off. So let's do magnified firepower. What's that on this list? And for the last trait, so if you want survivability on your build, I'd recommend, like, if you ever need a little bit of extra survivability, check out Energy Refrequencer. This will give you a small heal every time you shoot, but it does do like a green spiral around your ship. But you should be able to clear this with the visual effects removal tool. Let me see if Vertigo actually, if they have that on there. Because if I can remove that, then that'll be really handy here. Broken Soul, how's it going, man? Do they have Energy Refrequencer on this list? I do not see it. Rip. Yeah. Honestly, they've went and everything new they come out with, they make sure that the console and all that can be used on any ship. You know, and just making sure that they continue doing that is very beneficial. Okay, so I am not going to use the console off the Norway in the testing that I do today. The damage from it does not seem to be that good, but it also has a downside in that the clicky on it, the heavy pulse tractor beam, seems to slow you down when you activate it, so the damage from it's not that great. The passives on it don't really make sense for, you know, the type of build you'd be putting on the Norway, so I don't think the console really fits the ship, and I'd recommend just not really running it. Yeah, Energy Refrequencer isn't going to save you completely, but it is something that can help keep you alive. Did this also reset my duty officers? Yes, it did. So let's go with crit severity, my crit chance off. There's that. And for this last one, now I've got a Borged off that I'll put on here. Probably do like a 24. So I'm going to run a 24, 27, and a 23 because this is a command ship. The 24 won't be, I won't be getting the crit chance boost from that, but I mean the power boost every now and then, sure. Yeah. I don't think the Norway console is just all around like that great, so we're just going to avoid it. I'm going to head down to the map and take a look at the ship customization options here after I set up my tray. I need to set all my weapons to auto fire, and then I need to just start dragging things onto the tray here. You know, I'm going to drop Tachyon net drones and put the point defense bombardment warhead on so I can get that 2-piece, because that 2-piece is going to get me a little bit of a disruptor damage boost. So just boost the cannons up a little bit more. Yeah, I think energy refrequency. I don't remember what all boosted, but I think there is stuff that can. Now is the fun part, setting up the tray, so just bear with me here. The beam overload is a dummy proc to trigger the competitive engines. I'm using the innervated ones, so when I need a speed boost, I can hit the beam overload, and that will give me the overcharge proc off the engines, which will give me a temporary speed boost. For those curious as to why that was on the build. Artillery there. Just give me a sec to get this all put on my tray. I'm going to spam bar most of my uncons. I just don't want to really fuss around with them too much today. So my tray is a complete mess. I know. Believe me, I know. Okay. Ability sweep. And looks like I missed anti-time on the tray. There we go. The tray's a mess. It's fine. Sorry, let me catch up on chat here. The pylons not fitting correctly with each other. Yeah, I noticed there was some customization wonkiness when I was messing with it last night. And you have to track through your target, then select a new target, and then click the ability again. Yeah, the bar, this tray is a bit... When you're doing keybinds, trays, all that stuff, it's all personal preference, and the way someone has it set up may not match how you'd want to set it up, so... Yeah. Wayne, if they unlocked the flagship set, that would be amazing, but that would make... That set makes the Audi, the Scimitar, and like the Bordeaux all really good ships. So they might want to keep those locked to that ship to just make those to retain the value. Okay, let me save the loadout to a second slot. Then I'm going to go down to ground and we're going to take a look at the customization options. Webs, how's it going, man? So I was doing some stuff last night. Did a run with McStew, and we were both trying out the Norway. And like the Norway, just it's a fun little ship. I think CSV really is the best way to go with it. So you can either do the Norway or the Valdres. I sort of like how the Valdres looks a little bit more. The Norway, I don't know, the Norway, just the nacelles are really blocky on it. I did notice some of that actually, because I did a demo record to get the picture that I used for the background of the thumbnail here, and yeah, I noticed that it looked like all the shots were coming from the very front of the ship. Snare fall build. So the hull you can swap between the Norway and the Valdres. Between the two, you know, it's of course personal preference on to which style you like more. But but it does seem like the two ships, like if you want to really customize them, and I'm not really happy about this given that this is a brand new ship, but like the pylons don't attach to the different, like the pieces don't really fit very well together. Like it really is um like Kreenak was saying there, yeah, it's stuff just doesn't fit well together. So really my recommendation with the ship is either you go full Valdres or you go full Norway. Because when you go and use the different pylons with each other, they're like colliding and it's a bit messy. And of course you can change the look quite a bit with the, by changing the material. Let's see what the fleet ones look like. Fleet one. I think these the fleet materials could probably use a smidge of an update. They look fine on some ships, but this is one ship where what is this on the nacelle? Waldo, how's it going? Yeah, they both look like, yeah, shovels definitely. I really think the best way to go with this is either you go full Valdres or you go full Norway. Like the parts really do not mesh well together. Like there's overlap between them. Like if I go back to the Valdres and then I put the Norway pylons on, it just doesn't line up. It doesn't line up, and that's a bit immersion breaking right there, I have to say. So I'm gonna go with the full Norway skin here. Um, there's lots of neat ways you can make this look with the different skins, of course. Like some of these look neat. That's not terrible, but the nacelles do look a bit funky, of course. Would it a vanity blend it better? Maybe. I think between the two, I like the Valdres one more, and I agree with that. The Valdres looks like a shovel designed by Bugatti. The Norway looks like a shovel designed by Lego. Yeah, like this is so blocky. It's I don't mind blocks in some cases, but it's not really working for me on this. The Valdres is more smooth and it just looks better to me. Nope, this is not compatible with any of the Akira skins. Try a grayscale with the Vespa skin. Don't think you can do the Vespa here. I don't know. I think 8B looks good on it. 7A is a bit too bright, in my opinion. 7, I don't like that deflector at all. 6, some of these earlier types are just terrible. like this is rough. This, I'm sort of surprised they haven't went through and remodeled some of these earlier materials. Type 0 is not the worst thing ever, but again, it's this nacelle. Like, it's just got this really dark spot. I wonder how the Sovereign refit would look on this. We don't have that yet, though. Oh, no. I think out of all these so far, 8B is probably my favorite. And Vespa... You're saying Vesta pattern, right? So let me... Vespa with like a gray... Yeah. That actually looks really good. Yeah, the Vesta pattern and the gray color scheme here, that looks really nice. Like, and you could really customize the colors on this with that, because you could go if you wanted to make it like green, whatever. You can really make this whatever color you want it to be. You could literally make this thing like fully red if you wanted. Without a vanity shield. Or if you're a fan of Triz, you could do like green, or no, you want to do the purple. I can have slime devils on the ship without owning slime devils. Rob, how's it going, man? So this would be the configuration that you'd put on this ship if you want to go take it around Triz's streams. It's slime devils without actually owning slime devils. Mark, can you use T6 coupons on these new ships? Yes. Yeah. You can. Well, you can use the gift ones, but you can't use the ones from the event campaign. So I used an event, or not? No, I'm sorry. I used a gift coupon that I bought off another player for 550 mil to buy the ship. Okay, let's go back to like the gray color scheme. I like how this looks, honestly, even though the lighter color, maybe accent it with like a, let's do gray and then do a darker gray. That doesn't look terrible. If you have the box, the T6 coupon gift box or whatever, you can sell those to other players. You can't list them on the exchange, but you can trade them to other players. I don't know webs. I don't have the temporal reputation shield on this character. Yeah. Since when? Well, I'm just going through and showing people the customization options and the issues if they try to, mesh the two parts, because trying to mesh the two parts could be a bit rough. Okay, I'm going to level this up in an Argala. Let me just beam up to space, make sure nothing got screwed up because I, changed maps. I do need to mention also, Triz has some giveaways still going on for his celebration of hitting 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to put the link to this video in the chat here. Go check out the description of this video, and he's got giveaways running for a couple more days for Elite Service Packs, a Federation Responder Bundle, and a 10th Anniversary Legendary Bundle. This giveaway ends at the end of October, so you've got 3 days left to get in and enter. And these are for all platforms. That should work. Did that link work for you guys? Did I manage to copy it wrong? That link should work if the other one didn't. Is Days of Doom worse than Gravity Kills? Yes, I would say so. Okay, I'm going to go into an Argala now. Let me double check my traits. Okay. The Molnir, the experimental weapon from the Norway, looks like it's doing pretty well, but there's no conclusive testing yet, so I can't give you like an exact comparison numbers wise. Rolls and Argala. Yeah, Days of Doom just drags as the TFO, absolutely. It's a very long, drawn out TFO. Yeah, no problem. And True's a nice guy, so do make sure to subscribe to his channel there.
You have entered an area control. Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their stalls might come out.
Look at all these torpedoes from these pets, and this is just one bay of them. Holy.
Keep concentrating fire on individual ships. Separate them and whittle down their numbers. We will not go quietly.
Those pets are immersive.
You will stand down and surrender to the Ventru guard. Sensors are picking up small habitations from the afternoon. Possibly consisting of multiple temporary hideouts. We do what we want, where we want.
Every torpedo you see is from these pets. I have no torpedoes on this build.
We're jamming that spectrum of their comms now, but it was probably a call for assistance.
RP for the win. Terrible, Stu. Terrible.
I'm taking you with me.
Yeah, my flying here is absolutely garbage. Chell, I know you're judging immensely.
Excellent work.
Like, I was flying like garbage and I was still really fast.
Suspect into custody.
Ian, how you doing? Yeah, the thing is, I brought that up to them, and, you know, their response whenever I say anything like that is, it is, you know, it's meant to be a supporting ability. It's not meant to be, you know, like a fully selfish, you know, damage boosting ability. It's meant to boost you and allies, and pets count as allies, so that is completely as they have intended. Martin, I think you mentioned something about the mastery package before, so accuracy, defense, plus 10, cat 1 for kinetic and energy, and then 2.5 crit chance. It's not the biggest mastery package ever, but I mean that crit chance and that cat 1 is useful at least. Terrible. I'm not in those channels. They don't like me, and they never invite. Well, they did invite me, and then they revoked the invite to all the medals channels. Let's see what the pets did in that. I mean, that wasn't like the best testing scenario, but let's see what the pets did right there. The Molnir did 9.1k. I don't have any reference for how the other ones would perform in that scenario. The pets... So the experimental weapon did just about the same as what my pets did, and those beat out the artillery vessels. Norway could have been a great Section 31 ship. Yeah, Mark, I would rather CF be a target on player buff, but I could see how that could be a bit overpowered. But I'd still rather have that functionality than the current implementation. Okay. I am going to do a public Crystalline catastrophe. And if you guys want to join in, just join the public queue. I'm going to give it a couple seconds before I queue up, just to make sure you guys have time to tab in. Okay. A queue for Crystalline Catastrophe Advance. This is a 10-player TFO. Join the public queue if you would like to join in and just watch this thing spam out a ton of torpedoes. Mark, I have brought that up to people before. Yeah, I think the Norway is a good ship. The issue is the console and trait are not that amazing. Yep, I just got a pop for Crystalline there. So the console and trait are not the best things ever, but the pets are good. The experimental weapon does look good, and the ship itself is a good platform. Like it is truly a budget Delkina, essentially, with no battle cloak. I see a Hiawatha in here. I might pick up the Seneca at some point. You know, it's a matter of do I want to spend 550 milli on it. That's what it's going to cost for me to get that coupon. Okay, get away from the entity. It's going to do its charge. I won't get my console until I do the daily today. There we go. I think I got first place there. 156 new car marks. I like it. That was, let's see the damage from the pets. I mean, they didn't do a ton there, but it's CCA. I don't think they ever do a ton in CCA. I'm gonna swap one of my consoles out for the console off of the what's its name? The Drock. Yeah, the blast. They I don't like that they do that, but they put that blast in to intentionally slow us down. I do want to open up the Argala from before and just see if independent wingmate had any impact. So I'm going to set it so I see the pets individually. Take a look at the report here. Yeah, so wingmate is working with the Valkyrie pets, but you have to keep in mind that uh the independent wingmate trait only boosts a single pet, so it's basically doubling the damage of one of the pets, and then the others are still not doing, you know, anything that amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna slot the Jirok console. I'm going to drop ultimate for it. So I'm going to drop the ultimate swarm processor for the sensor suspension burst from the Jirok. I am taking a hit to my crit chance there, and I'm losing accuracy, which is thus losing some more crit chance and severity. Or crit chance, I don't remember. But the thing with the sensor suspension burst is when you hit it, it gives you 20% crit chance for 5 seconds and lets you get your second bay out right away. But to your pets, it's giving them 30% crit chance for 20 seconds. Curious how the Crystal Blast interacts with the Seneca console clicky. Yeah. Spencer, how would you rate a personal space trait that gives 100% cat 2 all damage on demand? I'd say that's pretty good. Pretty good, Shell. Steven, how you doing? Thank you for the membership also. Got you added to the Lovely PowerPoint. I try to keep this thing up to date. Sometimes I might forget, but I generally try to with every video, just make sure I've got everyone. Well, that's not on command. That's when you die, right? The Silubon Silic is a very different ship, though. Axel, you have to keep that in mind. The Silic is an engineering-focused flight deck carrier. The Silic is a good ship, but you've got that commander engineer that's doing like nothing for you. But the Silic itself is really good. The Silic has one of the most overpowered consoles in the game at a high level of performance. The IFF manipulator is a massive amount of debuff. Not useful for most people, but that console is amazing. I'm gonna join. I think. Okay, I'm gonna join the channel run here. This is an infected elite. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I just saw that they were looking for one more, so I just put my X up in there and I'm gonna see how this goes. Yeah, they need to fix the pylons for sure. IFF is strong but extremely niche. But that is, Axel, that is a good idea for a comparison. And honestly, there's two ships in the C store that are really good, like budget carriers. The Silic and the faction equivalents for the other factions. That's a really good platform. But also the Cardassian Intel flight deck carrier. That's really nice because that's a full commander, but it also unlocks Calm Before the Storm, which is a really good energy weapon trait. Yeah, it's possible because the Silic's gonna have Battle Cloak. Yeah, I'll have to try it out. I won't be doing that on this stream today, but that is a good idea for a comparison. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I still have the spiral disruptors on. There's a lot of videos I need to do. I'm really behind on a couple ideas that I have. Like I next week I need to just sit down, get the Enterprise J stuff sorted out because I'm going to do a theorycraft video for that, which I know not everyone is a fan of. Then I'll do a build for it. Yeah, the legendary Akira they said would be a strike wing escort. Be readied up. Now it's gonna be the J. I know the Valkys is better. I know the Valkys is a better ship. The Valkys can use the Romulan drone ships also now, so I know.
The situation is grim. All attempts to hail the starbase have failed.
Dedicated slot for armor. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess that'd be interesting for PvP, but yeah, the current implementation where you want to use, where they want you to use your engineering slots for like resistance stuff, nobody does that.
Scanning the nanite transmitter. Got it. Additional activity.
This is a channel run, so I'm sticking around to like help clean stuff up here a little bit. I mean, it was okay, but
Sensors confirm that the transwarp conduit has been
let me catch up on chat. Yeah, build on the Enterprise J and a theory crafting video to determine which build. Like, because to be honest, the Enterprise J and like the entire lineup of those 26th century heavy temporal dreadnoughts or whatever the hell they call them, they're all like jack of all trade type ships. Like they do a lot of they're capable of doing a lot of different builds. It's just that they don't exceed in any specific type. Like they're mostly a fun ship, but they are capable of doing different things. It's just that they don't do any specific thing very well. Yeah, Mark, I do agree that when I saw the Norway, that made me realize that the Akira is probably not going to be what any of us want it to be. It's probably going to be like a commander pilot. Did I warn these other people that you're on the player? Yes, I am a casual player, so do not expect too much deeps from me. I do casual things. My piloting is casual. Me, I'm a casual player. Yeah, Slang, if you're here, thank you for setting up that run. That was perfect timing for me to get a run in with the Norway here. Dwayne, you got to get the Enterprise share with your next event campaign, man. It's a ship that you'll very much enjoy. If you have a console that you use that you like, then go for it. Necronix, how you doing? Yeah, the honestly the HP on this thing is fairly high for an escort. Like I'm sitting here, I do have a prototype of Blade of Jevanite hardpoint on, so that's giving me a little bit of extra HP, but I'm sitting here at 140k HP. Yeah, that's a really high hull modifier. Let me scroll back up. I think I may have missed something. Yeah, it was a fun run. And you could do phasers on this. Like, I've got disruptors on this build because this is what I had on this character. I've got a very specific loadout on SOB right now, which is usually the character I use for energy weapons. And I've had too many times recently where I swap a ship and the loadout bricks, and I really don't want to do that with that loadout. So, yeah, we'll take a look here at the parse momentarily. But if you wanted to swap this over to phasers, it's literally the exact same thing. You just run phaser cannons, phaser turrets, and you swap these TAC consoles over to phaser rather than disruptor. Likewise, if you want to do Polaron, Tetron, Plasma, whatever you want, you just swap the consoles and the weapons around. That's it. Let's take a look at the parse. I'm I'm on a Romulan, so any performance numbers you see, keep in mind that I do benefit from the crit severity or the crit bugs right now because I'm on a Romulan with Romulan SROs. And Cryptic did again break bridge officers with the patch yesterday. So Romulans with SROs that are not from the embassy, just the actual Romulan ones, are giving more crit chance severity than they are supposed to give. So how did the experimental weapon in the run do? Let's take a look. The experimental weapon did 27.7k. So that did okay for an experimental weapon. That's not the best. I think the Soliton Wave Impeller would have still done better. The STO Better folks will definitely be doing some more testing with it, I imagine, to see how it stacks up in their testing environment compared to the other experimental weapons they've tested. The pets here, I got 143k from my pets. Let me go back. You do see that the independent wingmate significantly boosted up one of the fighter squadrons. So that fighter squadron boosted by independent wingmate did 12k, while the other ones did much less. Let me group those back up so that's easier to see, though. Let's group up pets. So the Valkyrie fighter squadron, the one bay of them did 36k. Which aligns with the fact that every bit of testing people have done so far points towards these things doing 20 to 30% less than the rare Todouge. But they look much better. Like, these things spam torpedoes like crazy. What's the trait that comes with this ship? It's a good question. I forget the name of it, but it's not a good trait, so let me find it here. Constructive, destructive, field interference. When activating a tractor beam bridge officer ability, drains 1100 shields from all facings of your foe and grants you 212 shield healing per facing. So the tractor beam portion of this doesn't look that great. The energy drain will just debuff the target's kinetic and phaser damage resistance by 15 for 20 seconds. That's not that much for a trait, especially compare it to something like Superior Area Denial, where when you hit fire at will or cannon scatter volley, all of your outgoing weapon shots apply a minus 30 debuff to everything. And that also massively boosts up your pet's performance. So SAD is a much better trait than this. The constructive, destructive field interference, there's no build that I could recommend this for right now. The Mjolnir performed about the same as your Graviton Implosion Projector. Yeah, I think it's a good experimental weapon for somebody just getting into things. But I think that at the end of the day, for min-max players, you're going to find that the Soliton Wave Impeller is still a significantly better experimental weapon. Especially if you're boosting it up with weapon power and engine power, because the Soliton fires faster if you have higher engine power. So, and that's available in the C-Store as an account-wide unlock also, through the Rising Corvette in the Mud Store, which, you can get for $40 during a sale, if that's something you really want. Stu, you sent... McStud, you're returning the ISIS? I thought you wanted all this ISIS. How does the Valdres compare to the Mirror Angle in my opinion? I would say this is probably a better ship than the Mirror Strike Wing. The utility offered by the Mirror Angle is definitely better because the trait from it's so good. The The pets from it are good for torpedo boats. Like the mirror angle, I think is a really like between the two. If I had to pick, I'd still rather have the mirror angle. But the Norway, I think, has the better seating to actually do like a cannon scatter volley build. Now, the console from this ship is the heavy pulsed tractor array. And it just, like I was saying before, it doesn't really fit the ship. Cables, how's it going? When am I going to do an engineer drain build? Never. Because that would require me to set up an engineer for space, which I never want to do. I have engineers set up for ground, but not for space. And drain builds, I think drain builds are largely irrelevant in the current state of the game because you can invest a ton of drain X trying to boost like siphon and all these drains when you can also just go out and use something like the Tachyon Netrons from the Bozeman, which will just shut the shields down on the target. Opening salvo, carrier wave shield hacking. I just don't think drains have a place in the current state of how the game is designed. Engineers are good for some situations. Rob, don't, I know you're clipping that. Engineers are good for ground. Engineers can do very well in space. And if you don't care about min-max, engineers are perfectly fine. But if you want to do min-max stuff in Elite, they are the weakest class. But it's not like you can't do Elite with an engineer. You can very much do Elite in any content this game has with any class this game has. But when it comes to the utility engineers have compared to attack or science, I would rather have a science tank in my run than an engineer tank. Because science has a lot of utility through their captain abilities. That heal that engineers have isn't really relevant when you start to factor in all the other heals you get. They're part of STO better that compares experimental weapons. So I thought there was. Do they have a tier list on here? Do they have a tab on the tier list for it? I thought they did. Maybe it's over on Stow builds. I don't know if there's a modern version of this. The experimental weapons from Dilzerk. I don't know if there is any further updates to it. I'll have to ask Dilzerk if there's like an up-to-date place for the experimental weapons. Yeah, beam overload can be very fun. Beam overload's very immersive. And it does good damage against a single target. Yeah. Let's do another TFO here. Yeah, and Steven was saying in that run that it did about the same damage for him as the Mjolnir did for me. Yeah, the Graviton Implosion. So you got 26k DPS out of that, and I got 27.7 out of Mjolnir. Terrible, Nick. Let's see here. Let's do... I like the board content. Let's do a Khitomer Vortex Advanced. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to get your window open. Let's I'm gonna queue for it now. Khitomer Advanced has popped. I don't know how many of you got in there. It's only a 5-player queue, so Orfez Elite. Terrible Nick. Yes. It is a very large deflector for sure. Oh no. Oh no, Chell. Yeah, CSV. I agree. I do not like the visuals of CSV, but it's hard to ignore the damage it does. Okay, so when I hit my prototype ablative, that takes me up to 152k. So these prototype ablative Jevonites, the thing that I just clicked to give me extra HP, you can buy these on the exchange, or you can get them from some DOFF packs. Oh no, Chell. Greenack, thanks for stopping by. What a waste of Thaler on punches. I know, he's showing off the Thaler on power. Chell's a big fan of Thaler on. There we go. Disruptor Spiral Wave, absolutely. The issue with phasers is because you use so many different phasers, they just do not... the experience, like, I don't have the hard numbers, but every PSV player sticks to Spiral Waves because with them all being Spiral Waves, it's like they fire better. When you have the phaser builds on at that high level of play, it's like not all the phasers want to fire when you have all the different types on. Yeah. Agony phasers are more of an immersion thing. Also, look at these. This is one hangar bay of these pets, and look at how many of them there are. Like, this is a single hangar bay of these Valkyrie fighters. They are larger than they're supposed to be. That is an important thing that I need to note, though. They are not supposed to be this large. The size of them is, I don't know how much larger it is, but it is larger than they're supposed to be. Yeah, and they're all supposed to fit in your ship. Yep. I have 2 Boimlers slotted. I hate when it does that. Let's go, and I should try to grab another trait to boost the pets here. I think Stargate, you were saying Wing Commander earlier. That's probably not a bad idea. And no problem, Rob. Are the Security Assault Squad officer DOffs that give stack and crit chance on ground any good? You know, they are some of the best duty officers for ground that you can get there still. They're honestly, they're the ground version of the crit DOffs for energy weapons or projectile weapons. I assume that you're in the same situation I am, Stu, and in which case, then yeah, everyone needs to know that they are amazing duty officers. We're not trying to sell any of them at all. Sam? I think people generally go for the severity ones, I want to say. How many do I have on this character? I don't actually have that many here. I've got a crit chance, another crit chance, another crit chance, another crit chance. I've got 5 crit chance ones here, so the severity ones must have all sold, and then I was just left with the crit chance ones. KDF tie hats are the best, yes. For PvP, they're amazing, Chell. I'm just swapping, see if I had anything sell quick. But the Norway, the Norway's a capable little ship. Like, that infected run for this, before the Khitomer there, you know, it's 800k with a CSV build on a C-store ship. That's not terrible. Of course, the performance you get from it's going to be dependent on how you fly the ship, how you build it, your team composition, all that. So that's an issue with some. I didn't know I had that many here. I need Wing Commander. Alan, if you're here, you are getting a couple more traits in the mail, buddy. Grab these quick for you. Was trying to help Alan out with some traits earlier, but I didn't think I had that many left. No, I still had a couple here. Giveaway wise too, tomorrow there's gonna be the start of like some of the builds Discord stuff. I haven't decided everything that I'm going to do there. But I've got a couple of prizes that were donated from Broken Soul, and also Martin gave me a lobby ship to give away. So some of the prizes, I can show some of these off here. So the lobby ship is going to be an Adlith. That'll be given away. I'll probably do that one. I don't know. Might do a Gleam one. I really don't know. But I got a couple traits here: an Inquiry, a Talshiar Adapted Destroyer. You know, a couple traits to give away. There's still 5 unclaimed keys from a giveaway that I did on my Discord a while back. Here. Find the giveaway. So I did the giveaway of these keys that were donated by Brain Drain. One person did not claim the 5 keys that they won, so I'll probably just do like a new drawing tomorrow for those 5 keys, because I gave them time. I messaged them. I was like, hey, you want, send your @handle to me so I can send you these keys, and it's been almost 2 weeks now and no response, so I'm gonna draw for somebody else. Yeah. I don't know if they were like a console player or something or what, but I messaged them. They never claimed it, so they've been sitting in my bank, and as tempting as that would be to use them, they were for a giveaway, so they'll be redrawn for a different winner. I don't remember, Mark. I think that's something where if you wanted to analyze Phaser versus Disruptor CSV builds, you would have to take them into the test map and look at them frame by frame, pretty much. Okay, I got another pet trait here. So with the cycles, if I remember, it's like there's the time firing and then there's like the recharge, right? So I don't remember. It's been so long since I looked at some of that stuff. When it comes down to like some of the mechanics, I can't answer those like right off the top of my head sometimes, but usually if I'm doing anything like that, I just type it up, do the research I need to do, and I think Mark, it's like a second or 2 firing, and then so it's like 2 seconds firing and then 3 seconds of recharge or something like that. Yeah. Chell's got it right there. Chell's got all this memorized. Chell's a numbers person. So Wing Commander is a bit cheaper on the exchange when it comes to traits that boost pets. Wing Commander is 50 million? What the? I didn't know that's 50 mil. But Wing Commander will boost how quickly your pets rank up. Thank you for the $10. Let me add that to this Black Friday total here. Thank you very much. Properties, that puts that 53. Thank you very much. Rob, you need another 27? Yeah, me too. I don't have one. I've got a 24. That's not selling because I think it was undercut. It was undercut. 31s are cheap on KDF side. Jeez. Okay. So I'm going to do another Argala, but this time I'm going to change the experimental weapon to the Soliton. Yes, I need to do some gambling. I am legitimately low on trait boxes. I'm also down to 1 ship box, which first world problem, I know. So I'm going to swap off the experimental weapon for the Soliton Wave Impeller, which is the known best in slot for weapon builds like this with high weapon power and then high engine power. Save the loadout. I'm also going to drop... I'm going to drop Inspirational Leader, which I just put on the build for Wing Commander, just to boost the pets up. Yeah, well, for a brief duration there, I actually had like 3 ship boxes again, and then I sold one. I used one to get the Farragut, which, by the way, pop that up here. I did tweet at Bordicus about this. I don't know if it'll get any traction, but I've been trying to use my Twitter a bit more recently. So I tweeted about the Farragut console to him. The issue with the Farragut console is that it takes too long to deploy. So when you shoot out the antimatter bomb deployment console from the Farragut, it takes 10 seconds before the antimatter bomb detonates. So they either need to reduce the duration on it, or even better, give us the ability to manually detonate it. And then that console would actually be pretty good for torp builds. Yeah, Stu's always around. Just silently lurking. Okay, I'm doing another Argala Elite here with the Soliton Wave Impeller on, and then McStud, MC Stu. Yeah, new player, absolutely. Soliton stayed on the build, that's good. Like, look at all the torps that come out of these things. Like, it's just really immersive. And I know that sounds weird for me to say, but they do look really immersive. Osiris, how you doing?
You have entered. Looks like our fight got them to notice us. Let's go over and ask if their fall might come out behind.
I just got screwed down by Boimler there.
Separate them and whittle down their numbers. We will not go quietly.
This is Argala Elite, also. For those wondering if I'm playing this on like lower difficulty. Yeah, it's a lot of twerps going out for sure.
Thank you for your assistance and welcome to this sector.
So I was a bit upset at myself. I don't ever have any EC on me. A lot of people think I have a lot of EC, but I never do. I always have assets, and when there's something I want, I'll liquidate those assets. But there was a Farragut up on the exchange yesterday for 900 mil, and I was really pissed off at myself that I didn't have the EC on hand to go out and grab it. But that's what I get, because every time I have something sell, I just gamble. So that's I just need to set aside some EC for things like that. Limitless ammo for the wind, yeah. Just got off work. Well, thank you for stopping by there, Osiris. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming. PHC. How long do I think we have on resonating payload modifications? I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if it's working as intended or not. I've asked the question. I just do not know an answer as to what they feel about it. How's the pew pew? It's going great. Going great, Sark. Triz will be getting very excited. I almost want to put these back on the Akira and just see how they would do there. Gamble me? I know. Never. I'm almost back up to 9,000 Lobi, and I still have my event campaign box, so if they add anything into the Lobi store. Hope they don't nerf tort builds. I think resonating payload needs to be nerfed. Immolating Phaser Lance did 13.6k. Let's take a picture of that. And let me compare that to the last Argala. It's the last Argala? Nope. This looks like the last one. It's not that big of a difference. Do I have every ship in the game? No. No, I'm not that big of a whale. I don't really put much money into the game. So the Soliton Wave Impeller definitely... Wait, I'm looking at the Immolating Phaser Lance. The Wave Impeller's up here. Mouse on this. Yikes. So the Soliton Wave Impeller did three times what the Mjolnir did in this run. So the Soliton Wave Impeller, if you want a really good account unlocked experimental weapon, the Soliton Wave Impeller is still it, and it's 40 something bucks in the mud store during a 75% sale off the Rising Corvette. It blows the Mjolnir here out of the water. Like the Soliton Wave Impeller, I don't know if this text is too small for you guys, but 27k DPS, 3 million damage, and a run about the same runtime compared to the Mjolnir down here, which did did like a third of it. Immolating Phaser Lance compared to one turret. I mean, it was basically, yeah, it was like 80% of a turret, Chell, just looking at the numbers there. Yeah, the event campaign should be sometime in November for the last one on PC. Yeah, that's in line. Okay. So the Soliton Wave Impeller is a significantly better experimental weapon. 27k DPS versus the Mjolnir doing 9. So the Mjolnir, it's not a bad experimental weapon. It's a good one to have on account unlock. But at the same time, the Soliton Wave Impeller is also something you can get on account unlock in the Muds market from the Rising Corvette. Wait for a 75% sale. But that would be 17,000 times 0.25. You can get the Soliton Wave Impeller on account unlock for 4,250 Zen during a sale. Wasn't expecting the Mjolnir to be that far behind, to be honest with you. It was hitting really hard, but the thing with the Soliton is the Soliton scales up really well with high weapon power and also high engine power, because it has a part of it where how fast it fires is scaled with your engine power. You going for the tooth? Yeah, the ship's mastery was unlocked. I unlocked it in the Argala that I did a half hour ago. Or wait. I guess in the first test, I did not have the mastery unlocked, which would boost Mjolnir up a little bit. But the mastery of the ship is not going to make the Mjolnir do 3 times better. So yeah, Mjolnir's good, but the Soliton Wave Impeller is better. So the trait from this ship I didn't put on at all because just looking at the numbers, it's not worth it. The console I didn't put on because it's sort of bugged. It slows you down right now, and it just, where is it here? The boost on it don't really make sense for a ship like this. It's an exotic boost on a ship that isn't really very exotic focused. It's the type of console that at best you would go and take and put on like a Psy ship. But even then, I don't think the damage on it is going to be good enough. Double commander has to become a thing in your life. The current ISE record is with the Courage, which has, it doesn't have dual commanders, but you can swap between a Psy commander and attack commander. Let's see how the pets did in this Argala. Steven, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the membership there. Let's see the pets here. So the pets again, I think this is basically what they did the first time. The pets are good. They're not the best. The rare Toadouge are better with Sad, but the pets are quite solid. And they look really fun. Which is weird for me to say, but watching these things fire off a ton of torpedoes is really, really immersive. How long till I get a message from Nick? Terrible. So yeah, I do not have the Seneca to try it out. I do not have... I guess I have the Voth Rampart for 2 hangar bays, but the loadout on that is completely screwed. Terrible, Chell. Absolutely terrible. I mean, overall, I think it's a fun ship. I mean, it's clearly a very capable platform, but the trait and console are not must-haves off of it. The pets are good, but they don't perform as well as the Toadouge. The ship itself is a fun ship, but you can't really customize it that well because the parts between the Norway and the what's it called? The Norway and the Valdres just don't really mesh well. Like the pylons don't line up, and it's a bit messy. Overall, I mean, I'm happy with the ship. It's a good little performer. It moves well, does good damage. Let's do... I'm going to do a Cure Found Advanced. I'm going to join the public queue for it. I'll give you guys a couple seconds before I do. Okay. Queued. Cure Found Advanced. There we go. Sarcasm. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's a good ship. It's a good ship. I'm happy to have gotten it. $24 for it. I don't think it's the worst ship to have on account unlock. No, it's fairly solid. Got another... There's a rampart and a carrier. Yeah, I'll break right if others want to go left. If you guys ever wonder why do I like Cannon Scatter Volley, because it just melts things at this lower difficulty. Like, look at all the torps coming from these pets. It's crazy. Here is a really great map. It can also be completed really fast. It's a very simple map. Surprised that they didn't ever just like take it out because of how fast it can be done. Very nice. These pets are just so immersive with this. And I feel like I would be a bit more immersed, of course, if I had, you know, some phaser cannons on this ship, but it really does look good. It's a good, fun little ship. Cannon scatter volley on it. Things are just gonna melt. Try an ISC here again. Slang is setting up another one, so I'll see if I can get in with him and because that's who I ran with for the last one half hour ago. Yeah, I can go with this. Well, there will be a 25% sale, most likely for Black Friday. Axel, keep in mind that the pets are like scaled up to like twice the size they're supposed to be. Yeah, all my consoles should be off cooldown by the time we go in here, so that's good. Let me pop my +10s from the starbase. They don't have any on. But yeah, I completely agree that the size of the pets definitely do not feel like they would fit. But it's not a new issue with this stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. Top consumables. Yeah, it is a good idea. Because not many people know about the ablative Jevonites, but if I talk about those at all after people watched me buy out the entire market a week ago, there's people are going to be calling me out for market manipulation. I should be far enough back that I can launch these pets, right? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I think if they had like stuff back here, it'd make more sense for where the pets would go.
Scanning the net, I trip.
Definitely feels a lot better with the Soliton impeller on also. Yeah, I know. So you saw I bought up like the entire market of those. That was a good run. 857 there. I'll take a look at the numbers here in a sec. Did I buy out the market for independent wingmen? No. Um, as much as it would surprise people in general, I really do not have the resources to buy out the markets most of the time. I have a lot of assets that I could liquidate for a lot of EC, but I do not ever have enough EC to go out and buy out most markets because I almost always gamble as soon as I get EC. Or I buy the thing that I was, selling the stuff to go out and buy. The independent wingman trait or independent wingmate is expensive because there's nobody really opening up those lockboxes except very casual players that don't understand that the courier lockbox is bad. So the only reason people do open those lockboxes outside of those players is to explicitly try and get that trait. Yeah, I'm a casual. I'm a very casual player. Let me take a look now at the parse. Yeah, there's a couple consoles that have charge functionality, like Chell is listing there, that do really well. So Soliton Wave. For reference, I'm going to pop open another SCM so we can take a look at the last infected run side by side, so we can get an idea on how Mjolnir performed compared to the Soliton. So Mjolnir did 27.7k. The Soliton Wave Impeller just did 70k for me. So the Soliton Wave Impeller definitely is the better experimental weapon. 70k out of the experimental weapon is obviously a lot better than 27.7k. And if I look at the pet damage here, my one bay of the Elite Valkyrie fighter squadrons with both Wing Commander and Independent Wingmate slotted did 46k DPS. So that's not terrible, but that is a bit of investment trait-wise to get them to perform well. And I was also using the Jirok console, which gave them occasional crit boost. So I was running a lot of things that explicitly boost pet performance. Overall, I mean, that was a good run. Slang, if you're here, thank you for organizing that again. That's a good chunk of damage, but really that does show that at the end of the day, the Mjolnir is a fun experimental weapon. It'll do well, but the Soliton Wave Impeller is just it's a different tier of weapons. The Soliton Wave Impeller is it's in its own league compared to all the other experimental weapons. Yes. Absolutely, Axel. We very much need more dedicated gear. I don't have scramble fighters on this character, but I do have an inkling right now to go through and test a carrier build with this, like with these pets. Not on the stream specifically, but in the future. Slime Devils, I like it. I might try and grab another coupon just to get the Seneca, just to be a completionist. Try to get... Yeah, I was running the Jirok console to boost pets. And these ones that I have on right now are the elite pets. Get every ship. Scramble fighters is always ridiculously expensive because The Delta Alliance DOF packs drop it very rarely. I've opened up 100 of those DOF packs at once, so I've spent a billion EC opening Delta packs, and then not gotten a single scramble fighters out of it. Really low drop rate. But really to summarize everything here, a Stargate. If you're interested, I will trade you a stack of Chemocyte 2, a full 99 stack for that coupon, or for one of those coupons if you want. I understand if you don't want to do that though. But that's the offer I've been putting out there. Yeah. That's a good point too, Chell. If pets could factor in the crit that you have on your build, the performance from them would be massively improved. Like, it would be huge. But because pets do not factor in any of the boosts that you have, their performance is rough. Look at all, like, I'm going to launch my own now. Look at how immersive this is. There's so many of them. Yeah. Okay, folks, I am going to start to wrap things up, though, here. I am going to be doing another stream tomorrow with some giveaways for the celebration of the Builds Discord 1-year anniversary. I think overall I'm happy with the Norway. I think it was a good pickup. It's a fun ship. If you do buy the fleet version only for right now, you do need to keep in mind that the fleet ones do not currently unlock the pets, and that is a bug that will be fixed in an upcoming patch. So that is going to be it for me today. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to stop by the Discord, the Builds Discord, my Discord, or leave a comment on this video once it gets published as a VOD. But hopefully I've covered most of the questions people had about the ship. I didn't really go too far into the console or trait because they're both underwhelming. But there's no other way to put those. But the ship itself, the experimental weapon's cool, but it's not the top performer. The pets are really fun. Axel, I do not have an answer to that. I really do not. So, yeah, I do not know when the last launch was that did not have bugs. Okay, I'm gonna wrap things up though here. So thank you to everyone that stopped by this the stream. Like I said, there will be another tomorrow, probably around the same time, and there's gonna be some stuff given away on the stream. And I'll also be starting up some longer duration giveaways that'll run throughout the month of November on the Builds Discord. So thank you all for stopping by. See you guys next time.